What up, my people? Houseplant Help back here today to show you how to keep a fiddle fig alive. So a lot of people are very scared to keep a fiddle fig, to buy a fiddle fig. They think they're going to kill it, or they've gone through several and they have killed several. They think it's a really hard plant to keep alive, but those people are wrong. All right, so it's actually a pretty easy plant to keep alive in my opinion. You just have to know how to do it, and there are 3 key points of how to keep it alive. There's 3 things you need to do to keep it alive, and they're easy, but if you just do these 3 things, you'll have no trouble with it. And you know how it goes on YouTube. I'm going to leave the best for last, all right? So first, location. You need to have the fiddle fig in a good location. It needs to be right in a window, basically. It doesn't necessarily need to be a south-facing window or receiving any direct light at all, but it needs to be right in front of a window. So this is obviously not where I keep this fiddle fig. I keep it right in front of a window. I'll show you where I keep it. It needs to be in good light, all right? And I will address the elephant in the room here. You guys are saying, Houseplant Help. Your fiddle fig, it doesn't look good at all. It looks, the leaves are all messed up. It doesn't look good. Shut up! So the reason that it looks a little bit messed up is because somebody gave this to me. And that's the reason why I thought to make this video in the first place, because I've gotten now a couple of fiddle figs that people have given to me because it started to get a lot of brown leaves or brown edges, which is from overwatering. And so they gave up and gave it to me. So I just got this one recently, and I'm gonna nurse it back to health. Give it 2 months, 3 months, it's gonna be looking good as new. All right, so like I said, this is not where I keep it. I normally keep it in the window, but you know, it already is starting to do better. So we'll see in a few months how it looks. So that is the first trick to keeping a fiddle fig alive, location. The second trick is fertilizing. All right, fiddle fig, the Ficus Lyrata, it goes through nutrients quickly. So it's very important to fertilize these. I think with all houseplants, it's gonna make it easier to keep them alive if you fertilize them. But with fiddle fig, or really with any ficus, it's really necessary. So if you've seen my videos before, you know there's 2 fertilizers that I personally like for houseplants that I think are the 2 best. And it is the Fox Farm Grow Big, which is a tremendous product. Shout out to Fox Farm, OG company from Mendocino, legends. So it's Fox Farm Grow Big. And the second one is actually a local Texas company, which is Microlife. So Microlife Biomatrix is the houseplant fertilizer. And the Biomatrix is very good. It's got all the living microbes in it and very high nitrogen. So for a fiddle fig or most any houseplant, I think the ideal fertilization schedule is to switch off between those 2. So maybe fertilize once a month. 1 month use Biomatrix, the next month use Fox Farm Grow Big, and switch off between those for the whole year. All right, another thing I see people do is stop fertilizing in the winter. I personally think that's a mistake. Just fertilize once a month, 12 months a year. Because in the summer, you're gonna have more light, but the air conditioning is gonna be on. At least if you live in Texas or you live, you know, where I live, or, you know, anywhere, you're gonna probably have the AC on for some amount of time. So it's gonna be receiving more light, but it's gonna be colder. So that's unnatural. In the winter, it's going to be receiving less light, but the heat's going to be on. So you're kind of always putting houseplants in this weird unnatural setting. So I don't think you want to fertilize only at certain times of the year. I think you want to fertilize all year round. Okay? So for fiddle fig, that's number 2. Fertilize regularly. Okay? You got to have them in a good location. You got to fertilize regularly. And then the third thing, the key thing, which, you know, I think is the most important of all. And by the way, please like and subscribe to this video. I am trying to get this channel going and be able to put out videos every single day, you know, so please subscribe. And I got a bunch more videos filmed already. I got a bunch that I put out, and I got a bunch more in here, you know what I'm saying? Please subscribe. All right, number 3, the most important part of all to keep a fiddly fig alive, and not just alive, but thriving and looking tremendous, is water correctly. All right, you gotta know how to water them correctly. If you have it in a good spot and you fertilize them, but you're not watering it in the correct way, it doesn't matter. It's still gonna die, or it's still gonna at least look bad. All right, so for a fiddly fig, I think the key to watering it is to water it once every 2 weeks. If you're fertilizing it and it's in front of a good window, pretty much no matter what size it is, no matter where you live, no matter what, just stick to once every 2 weeks. All right, if you do this, it's gonna make it easy. There's no guesswork. It's not, oh, I felt the soil, oh, is it too dry, is it too wet, I don't know. No, just water it once every 2 weeks and you're gonna be just fine. Just stick to that schedule. Say every Sunday, every second Sunday, I water the fiddly fig. If you do that, it's gonna be just fine. And then you gotta also make sure you're watering it the correct amount. Sometimes people tell me, like, oh, I asked them how much they water, and they're, oh, you know, I give it 1 cup or a half a cup. No, that's you dumb. That's not ever gonna work for any houseplant. I mean, maybe a snake plant, Sansevieria, but for fiddly fig or any tree, you gotta soak it completely. Okay, so for something this size, like I'd say a half gallon or maybe even a gallon every time you water it, and do that once every 2 weeks, and you're gonna be good. A way that you can tell how much to water it is to, when you're first getting a feel for it, when you first get a new fiddly fig or any plant, is to water it very slowly. If you have a rough idea of how much you think it needs, slowly pour half of that on and let it kind of absorb that water slowly. All right, if you just pour the whole thing on, it's gonna go right through and it's gonna fill the saucer. But pour half slowly, wait 5 minutes, and then pour the second half, okay? As soon as it starts coming out of the bottom, stop. Maybe, you know, pour for another second or 2, let it get a little bit of water in the bottom, but if you do it slowly, you can stop when it's starting to come out the bottom, and then it's not gonna overflow the saucer, all right? So that is a good trick for all houseplants, is just when you're first figuring out how much water they need, do it very slowly and maybe pour half, wait a few minutes, pour the other half, okay? And I think, you know, the more light the fiddle leaf is in, the more water it can be sitting in at the bottom. So, you know, if it's in very bright light, you can kind of water it so that it fills up the saucer. It's not bad if it's sitting in water for a day or 2. You know, if it's sitting in water for a week, it's bad. If it's sitting in water for longer than that, it's gonna start to rot the roots. But when you water a fiddly fig, if some water comes out the bottom in the saucer, give it a day, 2, maybe even 3 days, and see if it's absorbed up all that water. After 2 or 3 days, whatever's left in there, pour it out. But if you start to get a feel for how much water it needs, you'll start to get how to water it just enough so that a little water goes in the saucer. Within a day or 2, it's absorbed, and then you're fully saturating the root ball, you're fully saturating the soil, and the roots are absorbing exactly the amount of water they need. All right, so if you do that once every 2 weeks, it's gonna be a tremendous plant. It's gonna grow like crazy. It's gonna be very healthy. So there we have it, the 3 tricks to keeping a fiddle leaf fig alive: location, fertilizer, and watering. If you get those 3 things down and just do it exactly as I said, which is for location, get it in front of a window. For fertilizing, water it once every, fertilize it once every month, switching off between Fox Farm Grow Big and Microlife Biomatrix. And then water it once every 2 weeks. Just stick to the same day once every 2 weeks. If you do those 3 things, your fiddly fig is going to be healthy, and it's going to grow for years to come. So there you have it, my people. I love you guys. Please like and subscribe this video. I'll be back soon with more. Thank you.